Hi everyone. Hi Ellie. Welcome. I think we're on. Are we on? Yes. Hi, Lighthouse. Yay, here we go. Hi everyone. Okay, so tonight, now, okay, until people get on the Lighthouse thing, um, what we want to do is we want to understand how it's possible that we have one of the darkest months with a fast day in it, mind you, which isn't, which is that's always a bad sign. There's a fast day in a month. It means something about that month. That month was chosen for that, and we're in the middle of Chanukah. It's like the light and it's the miracle. It's the Hanukkah is the times of miracles, and it's all about coming out of what you think is possible for you and really thinking in miraculous ways when you're lighting your candles. Think completely out of the box for yourself. Think like above and beyond anything that's rational even for you. What you don't think is even in the stars for you, like what you would even consider, what you don't even think about. We usually what we do is we think based on how we know things, based on what we've been exposed to in our life, our family, what we've seen around us, what we grew up in. That's basically the extent of how we think. Know we only know more like outside of ourselves when we touch things that are outside of ourselves, like when we are exposed to things that are really, really outside of ourselves, things that we weren't exposed to earlier, right? It's called Tmunot HaNefesh. The Zohar talks about it and talks about how a person acts based on their Tmunot HaNefesh. Tmunot HaNefesh are Tziyurei Nefesh, he says. Tziyurei Nefesh are the tziyurim are the actual sketches, the drawings in your nefesh. So you only have to work with what you know. Meaning you only understand or what's on your plate, or you can only see, or you can only think within what you know, what you've been exposed to. You can't think outside of what you know. I was in life coaching school last year, the whole year. It was very interesting. I'm really happy I did it. I got a lot of tools. I learned a lot of ways to talk to people and to understand people and to listen. Like I thought I was a really, really good listener before, and then I realized that I don't know how to listen at all. But I learned how to listen, and they taught us something that was very, very interesting. They taught us that there's like a shita. There's an understanding. It's called, what is it called? Wow, I forgot. Did I forget? Wow, I can't believe I forgot. They drilled it into us for months on end. But basically, it's something that there's an understanding that there's a stuff that you know that you know you know. Like that stuff is your name, your family, the stuff that you know, okay? And then there's the stuff that you know that you don't know, okay? I know that I don't know how to speak Chinese. I know that, I don't know how to do my own taxes. Not at all. So I know that, right? So there's stuff that I know that I know I know, okay? And there's the stuff that I know that I don't know, okay? Like the stuff that you just don't know. And then there's the stuff that you don't know that you don't know. So, which means that we only have what we're working with. It's very, 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 very little. It's only based on what we know, what we've been exposed to. I don't know what I don't know that I don't know, right? I don't know it. I don't know, what I was 26, the things that I know today when I'm 37, I didn't know then about myself, my personality, why I was in certain relationships, why I was gravitating towards certain people, the decisions that I was making back then. Back then, I thought like I was making the right decisions for different things, like my marriage, right? And now now, being where I am today, I've been exposed to so many things that I've never been exposed to, and I've been through so many things that I've never been through. Right? Let's say, for example, um, now I know what it's like to sit in court, and I know what it's like to hire lawyers, and I know what it's like to be a mother, and I know what it's like to be a single mother, and I know what it's like to make better decisions when I meet people, or I know how to identify different qualities in people that I know are red flags for me and that I should stay away from. Meaning, now I know the things that back then I didn't know that I didn't know. You hear that? There are the things that we know that we know we know, the things that we know that we don't know, and the things that we don't know that we don't know. And that's our biggest blind spot. Our biggest blind spot is not knowing what we don't know. And so how do you make that? How do you make that right? Right? How do you make it right by not knowing what you don't know? So the Zohar explains, and he says that this concept of tziyura nefesh, and tziyura nefesh is anything that you've ever been exposed to is sitting back here, okay? It's sitting in our subconscious. It's sitting in our small brain. Anything that you've ever been exposed to. Hold on one second. I think something's wrong. Hang on. Okay, here we go. So we were not on the whole time. Now we are. Hi, hi Lighthouse. Okay. Okay, so what we're talking about right now is we're talking about something called tziyura nefesh, and I'll explain to you why we're talking about it now, specifically during the Chodesh of Tevet, and what the whole connection is. But it's really important that we understand this, that there's a lot of things that we don't see that are our blind spots. We have blind spots all over the place, and we're not aware of the fact that we have these blind spots because we're blind to them. Okay, I'll give you a very personal example. Not that I haven't been a person up until now, but I'll give you another personal example. A few days ago, I was having issues with one of my kids. Okay, I was having issues, discipline issues, where it was just nothing that I was doing was making a dent in terms of changing behaviors, and I got very, very frustrated. I got very frustrated with him. I got very frustrated with myself. I got very frustrated with the whole thing. I got very frustrated with the relationship. Very frustrated with the relationship, and okay, so if the Lighthouse is hearing me, hi Lighthouse, I'm on Michael's account because I just couldn't get on from your account. I couldn't find the live button, so I hope that's okay. Please forgive me. I hope Michael's okay with the fact that I'm in his private account. So I was in this stuck. I was like in this place with my son, and I felt very, very stuck with it. And I didn't know what was wrong. Like, what's going on? What am I missing? What am I not seeing? And then something crazy happened. You want to hear what happened? Really, something crazy happened, which was I was in the car with a friend, and I wanted to show her a video. All of a sudden, on my phone popped up a video of my kids when they were tiny, tiny, and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember this video. I haven't seen it in ages. What is it doing here? So I clicked on it. I was in the car with my friend, and we were both watching it. And all of a sudden, I noticed something that I've never seen before. And now I've seen this video very many times in my life, okay? It was from years and years ago, and I love this video, and I haven't seen it like in 2 years, let's say. So I'm showing this video to my friend, and she doesn't notice anything different. But as the video goes on, I start to sink into my seat, and I realize that, oh my gosh, from when they were little, there was this, I don't know, discrepancy. There was this, my attention to one of them was way more than my attention to the one that I'm having issues with. And I never noticed it. I never noticed it. I never noticed it. And that's something that's really crazy because I'm very into my children, and I'm really I'm very connected to them, and I feel I take my motherhood very, very seriously. My motherhood is the most important thing to me in my life. Everything I do is for my motherhood, like everything I do. And so having these issues with this child and also seeing him act out and different things made it very, very, very difficult for me personally just to live in the same house because I just kept on seeing behavior that I wasn't happy with, that I didn't think, and he wasn't happy with either. And then when I saw this video and I saw the way I spoke to one of them versus the way I spoke to the other one when they were so little, I, I was shocked. I was shocked. I felt like my heart was gripped. I felt that, this was the first time ever, and again, I watched this video so many times. This is the first time ever that I was able to say, wow, this is the problem. The problem is that this child triggers me in this way, and therefore, because I'm triggered in this way with this child, then I end up kind of energetically moving away from him a little bit, still loving him, still connected to him, still hugging him, still feeding him, still everything the same. Energetically, in my vibe, my energy with him is more shut down than with the other one. And I never ever noticed it. I knew that I had a different relationship with both of them. I knew that the relationships were totally different. Like this one I had this kind of relationship with, and this one I had this kind of relationship with, and both of them really good relationships, just different. Okay, and then all of a sudden, this rift started becoming very, very apparent to me. And when I saw this, and when I saw the video, and when I saw myself, and when I saw how, in the energy of things, just in the energy, in the subtle energy, with him, the hugs were the same kind of hugs, but in my heart, I was a little bit more protected because this kid might hurt me. Because he does. So he might hurt me. So I protect myself a little more, and 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 all of a sudden, what happens? There's a distance. And why is there a distance? What's wrong? What's wrong? Why are you not acting right? What's happening with school? What's happening here? What's happening there? Why? And then I find myself blaming him, right? What's going on? And then finally, was when I was able to get this real clear, really clear view on myself and of my approach to him, everything changed. Everything changed. I completely changed the way I am with him. I unlocked all of these pieces of my heart that I guess I was protecting because of different things, and I just became completely seeing him. I saw him. I see him. He talks to me. There's not a chance that I'm not focused, and I'm listening with both eyes and both ears, and I'm present. And not always is it easy. Again, this is the relationship that's not so honky-dory. It's not the relationship that's easy. Now, if any of you here are parents, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Some kids, it's easier to have a relationship with. It just comes out much more naturally. And some kids, it's really, really not easy at all. You love them all so much, but it's just much easier with other kids. So we gravitate towards the kids that are easy for us to have a relationship with. And that's not the right thing to do. Because it's not easy for us to have a relationship with that specific kid does not mean that we have to avoid it. We specifically have to look at it and say, hey, why am I not having an easy relationship with this kid? What about this kid triggers me? What about this kid reminds me of myself? Now, why am I saying all of this? Because there's the concept that we were talking about before is the concept of blind spots, that we all have blind spots. We all have blind spots. And these blind spots are the reason why God gives us mirrors in our life. And I know that every single time I talk about mirrors, people don't want to hear about it. They don't want to hear about it for the same reason that I didn't want to hear about it for a very, very long time, I guess. Because it sounds like, what, everything is my fault? Anything that anyone does and I see is my fault? No. No. I teach an entire course called Ein Abdolach, which is 13 sessions long on the concept of mirrors, the Baal Shem Tov's concept of mirrors, and how the mirrors work, and how God sends us mirrors in our lives. Now, you have to understand this, okay? You, whether you like it or not, you have mirrors in your life. And the mirrors that you have in your life are people that are triggering of you. Okay? The triggers that you have, the ones that you see in your kids, the trigger that you see in your best friend, Okay, that one thing that she says or that she does or that quality in her or whatever it is that really gets under your skin. Okay, or you can see these mirrors anywhere. You can see them on the road. Okay, you could see someone that's driving like an idiot, right? And then you just have like road rage there, and you're just so frustrated with people that don't know how to drive, that are on their phone and smoking a cigarette and drinking their coffee and finding the right station all at the same time, right? And you just you see it, and it just makes you very upset. And so the concept that Baal Shem Tov says about this concept of the mirrors is that if you hadn't, the fact that you had seen it, the fact that you were meant to see it, the fact that you were shown it, is because you were shown it because it's a blind spot of yours. Because we don't see our blind spots. We can't. It's not possible for us to see our blind spots until we do enough work to be able to get a clarity on this blind spot. So, imagine you see someone that's driving, irresponsibly, and you just are like so amazed by someone that could be so irresponsible and just so crazy on the road. And if you think about it, the reason that it brings out the anger in you and the reason that it brings out the frustration in you is because you do the same thing. Is because think about how often you do check your phone. Think about how often you are not being responsible on the road. I know I am. Right? So whenever I can get stuck behind someone like that, or whenever I see someone that makes me very upset, that triggers me, I know that the only reason I'm triggered, because you can't be triggered if it's not someone holding a mirror into your face. Someone is holding a mirror to your face. Okay? And it's not just this person that's here right now. It's Hashem setting up the scenario, setting up the situation that you're in right now. He put this person in front of your face, this cop, this friend, this spouse, this child, with this thing that's getting under your skin. It's getting under your skin. So here's the bottom line. The bottom line is that we have blind spots. These blind spots are not helping us. These blind spots are the reason why we have all the beef that we have with the people in our lives. These blind spots are the reason why things are not working out for us in relationships. These blind spots are things that we just don't see. I'll tell you, I had a friend over tonight, and I love her. I love this friend so much, and she's an amazing friend, a really amazing friend. And she said to me today, "Tell me. I want you to tell me what you see in me that you think that I need to work on." And I don't like getting into these conversations with people. I don't like telling people what they have to work on. I don't enjoy being put in that. I don't like it. Even though I'm a life coach, being a life coach is not tell people what they're not good at. It's to ask people the right questions so they can figure it out themselves. But she really was pressing me because she wanted to work on herself, and I said, okay. And I said this and this and this. And she said, "What? No, that's not true. I'm not like that. I'm this and this. And that's why it comes out like this and this and this and this. And you're just seeing it that way. Maybe it's because you're like that." And this is not the first time I had a conversation with her that was like this. And I said to her, "This is exactly why I don't want to have these conversations with you. I don't want to get into these conversations because any single time I say anything like this, you get up all defensive and you get all frustrated, or you get all you answer right away. You don't listen to what I'm telling you. You don't hear the words that I'm saying. All you hear is criticism when we're not criticizing each other. There's absolutely no criticism. You asked me to tell you where I see this in this relationship of yours. And I did. And as a friend, and you know how much I love you, but she hears it as criticism. And after I said this to her, I said, as she realized, and I made it very, very clear, because I think that I was doing her a big favor, and I did do her a big favor by saying this to her, that whenever I say anything to you, you go ahead and argue with me. There's no hearing what I say to you. There's not just me. About anything we could be talking about, you argue about every single thing. So anytime someone argues with you, you say the wall is black, and I say, what? The wall is not black. The wall is white. The wall is white. It's white, the wall. What's wrong with you? Why don't you see that the wall is white? Then next time I want to say something, it's going to be I'm going to think twice and maybe 4 times before I actually open up any kind of conversation with you. Because if every single time I open up a conversation with you about how I feel or about how I see things, you immediately react with, nuh-uh, it's not true. Look, last time I didn't do that, and this time it was different, and it's not true, and it's not like that, then I'm never going to really have space to express how I feel. Right? I'm never going to have space to express how I feel. So she heard it for the first time. And I said to her, maybe that is why your husband is having such a hard time talking to you. Because she was telling me how it's so hard for her husband to talk to her, and he just shuts down. He comes home and he goes straight into the room, and they speak, but he avoids her. He avoids her. And I said, maybe that's why that's happening. Because whenever he actually opens up, you go ahead and prove to him how that's not true. It's not true. Because look, I did this, and I did this, and I did this, and it's not true. We have blind spots. We have mega blind spots. And these blind spots of ours, we're so highly defensive of ourselves in so many ways, in so many areas, that we're not able to see and hear what God has to talk to us. He talks to us all day through people, through people, and through the people that get on our nerves, through the people that get under our skin, through our children that we just want to rip our hair out. He talks to us through them, right? That's why it's easier to be close to one child rather than another child, because the child that you're closer to is the easier relationship. It's the easier relationship. Maybe it's the relationship that reminds you of you, that is more similar to your spouse. Right? The ones that are usually similar to us are the ones that we usually have beef with, okay? Are usually the ones that we have issues with, okay? So that's how these things go. We're very wired psychologically, and we have to understand that. It's not, don't believe everything you think, and don't believe, everything you hear. You have to know how to also absorb. And I explained to this friend of mine that next time you hear someone telling you, someone that you know loves you, someone that speaks to you respectfully, not someone that speaks to you harshly and puts you down and gives you and criticizes you, but someone that you know loves you and tells you, listen, when you do this and this and this, it makes me feel that and that and that. Then don't say nuh-uh, or don't say, but I did all these other things for you. Say, oh, like the imago theory. What is it? Oh, so when I do this and this and this, it makes you feel like this and this and this? Even though you completely disagree with it, and it's completely, that's their event. But what happens is that we give the other person space to feel, to express, to tell us how they feel, and then we become more open to have a relationship with. People want to have a relationship with us. People want to talk to us because we allow them to be heard. So so when the Zohar explains this concept of tziyurei nefesh, the tziyurei nefesh are the things that you know, okay? There are things that you know, things that you know that you don't know. The things that you know, like your name, like your address, like your sign, like your favorite color, like your favorite food, those are things that you know, okay? So those we have no problem with. That's all up here. That's in the conscious mind that we have access to all the time. Those are the things that we know. We know how to make an omelet. We know how to make coffee. We know how to make all the things that we know to do, okay? That's not our problem. Then there are things that we know that we don't know. And those things are not our problem either, okay? Unless we want to acknowledge that knowledge, for example, acquire that knowledge. For example, the things that we know that we don't know, like I don't know how to speak, like I said before, Chinese. I don't know the language, right? So if I want to learn it, I could, but I know that I don't know it, okay? So that's another category. The last category is the things that I don't know that I don't know. The things that we don't know about ourselves is where all of the magic is and where all of the brilliance is. And what do I mean? I mean, first and foremost, we have to understand that we have these blind spots, okay? There are things that you do, that you say, ways that you act, ways that you express yourself. There are things that you do that you don't realize how these things are shooting you in the foot. You don't realize how these things are directly correlated to the pain that you have in your life over the things that you wish you had, or the experiences that you wish you had. You don't realize it, just like this really amazing, beautiful friend of mine, okay, he was such a loving individual. She's one of the more loving individuals that I've ever met in my life, really. But she's She's short-circuiting herself and her relationship. She's short-circuiting them. Why? Because she's not able to hear anything that the other person has to say about her, because everything that anyone says about her sounds negative to her, because she was highly criticized as a kid, and so she's mega, super, duper, uber sensitive to criticism. So anytime she hears any little bit, something that even reminds something of criticism, she immediately, the protector comes out and she says, what? No, it's not true. I didn't do that. Right? There's that defender that comes out. And when that comes out, and this is all her not realizing, this is all her with her blind spot. When that comes out, she pushes people away, and then she wonders why she pushes people away. And then she wonders why people are not close to her. And then she wonders why it's so hard for her in relationships. And then she does so much for people, and still she doesn't get what she wants. It's because of these blind spots. So Hashem does something so nice for us every single day. He puts mirrors up in our lives. And we know that they're mirrors if they agitate us. If the people, no matter what, it could be the guy in the grocery store, or the guy in the whatever, in the gas station, or the person that you're living with at home, anyone. If they agitate you and they get under your skin, you have to know there's something called shemetz minehu. There's something about you in your character that does the same thing. You do the same thing. And maybe you do it, for sure you do it. You do it not realizing that you're doing it. We do it not realizing that we're doing it. And you know what's very interesting? When she argues with me, I notice that any single time we have a conversation, she starts like screaming. She starts like her raising her voice and getting very defensive, and that to me triggers me. Like raising voices and getting defensive, that's very triggering for me. And so I completely stopped talking to her about anything that has to do with anything that can bring up emotions. We have fun, we laugh together, we hang out, but there's no like deep, intimate stuff, none at all. And I moved away from that because it's scary to me to get into a conversation with her about anything like that, because I've been there and it's very triggering to me. And then today when I had this conversation with her and I said these things to her, it was very interesting for me. What I realized was that, wow, all of a sudden I had an aha moment. I had an aha moment that I had the same conversation with my father a few years ago, and my father said to me, why don't you just listen? That mouth of yours is what gets you in trouble. And I said, and back then I was like, oh, me? How can you even say that? What? And as I'm talking to her and telling her these things, that she's so articulate and she's able to just, make the other person not want to talk to her anymore because she has so many examples of how she's doing it right and she's not able to hear, I all of a sudden I had that aha moment of my father saying that to me. And the reason that this friend triggers me in this area, the reason that she triggers me is because I have a shemetz minehu. Is because when I feel like someone is about to criticize me or is criticizing me, I get like she gets, all up in arms. Wow. What an aha moment. What an aha moment. And back then when my father said that to me, I was like, the nerve. The nerve. Seriously. Disgusting. Me? I'm so nice. What are you talking about? It's things in our nature, in our character, that are shooting us in the foot all the time, that are really messing up possibly the biggest things in our lives, okay? Our careers, our relationships, our parenthood, all of it. And we don't see them. We keep blaming other people. We keep blaming and blaming and blaming and blaming. And the blaming, blame your kid because your kid is flying, because your kid is not organized, because your kid is irresponsible, because your kid is not respectful, because your kid doesn't take all their plate off their table when they finished eating. Blame, 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 blame. That's never going to solve anything. You have to see that the reason this bothers you so much, where maybe to your husband or your wife, it doesn't bother them if the kid doesn't take the plate off the table. It doesn't bother them if the kid doesn't know where his notebook is or where his pants are or where he's flying. But to you, it's like, why is it so frustrating to you? Because you have a shemetz minehu. Because he's mirroring something within you that is hurting you. And the reason that God put this mirror up in your face is because once you actually see it, then you'll be able to change it immediately. But once you see it, immediately you're going to change it. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. The second you realize that, oh my gosh, this is when I say this, or when I do this, I thereby push people away. I thereby make people not want to be my friend, not want to have a relationship with me. I thereby make it hard to get hired to different jobs. I'm shooting myself in the foot. I'm shooting myself, not getting dates, not getting. Why? Then Hashem is constantly showing. We're davening to Hashem all the time. We're always praying, Hashem, I want parnasa. Hashem, I want a shidduch. Hashem, I want my child to get into a good school. Hashem, I want my child to go b'derech Torah. Hashem, I want to have whatever, all the things that we want to have in our lives. And then they don't pan out. What we have to do I don't know if we're taught this so much, okay? What we have to do is that God interacts with us. After you daven, after you're asking for the things that you're asking for, He interacts with you by sending us mirrors, by sending us triggers. And these triggers need to be paid attention to. They can't just be dismissed. They can't just be blaming the other guy. Because as long as I'm blaming the other guy, I'm never going to really be able to do the work in myself. Now, it doesn't mean that exactly what you see in the other person is what you have in yourself. No. There's a shemetz. There's a shemetz minehu. You have a piece of that characteristic inside of yourself. Okay? So next time you find yourself rolling your eyes and just being like, whatever, okay? Start doing some soul searching right there and then. Where do I do this? Because this is what is shooting me in the foot. This is what is messing it up for me in my life. This is what is causing the frustration with myself, with my relationships. This is what it is. Okay? And it doesn't just hang out with you. When you have blind spots, and we all have blind spots, when we have these blind spots, we really hurt the relationships that are closest to us. So it's a very, very worthwhile investment to see the thing that's in front of us that's frustrating us, and to know that kol haposel b'mum chavero posel b'mumo. Okay, that whatever you see a mum in your friend, whenever you see a blemish in the other person, you got to know that there's a little bit of that blemish inside of you. Otherwise, you wouldn't see it. It wouldn't be in your realm of. You wouldn't see it. It wouldn't be in your life. You just wouldn't see it. You wouldn't see it. Okay, now listen to me for a second. This concept, again, like I told you before, I have 14 notebooks. Okay, on this concept, I translated this whole thing from my Rav, and it's called in Devorah, and it's deep Kabbalistic stuff. And if you want to learn it, we could start a course. I teach it. It's incredible. It's very superficial what I'm telling you right now. I'm very much scratching the surface what I'm telling you right now, but it's a rule of thumb, and the rule of thumb stands. Okay, so now back to the blind spots. So we all have blind spots. So now here's my question. Okay, now that we know that we all have blind spots and that we don't see a lot of the things that we do that sabotage our growth and sabotage our relationships and sabotage the things that we want in our life, we don't see what it is that we're doing and we're blaming other people. So now that we're aware, just being aware of the fact that you have a blind spot, you have a blind spot somewhere, okay? How is it that we have one of the darkest months in the lightest time? Today is Rosh Chodesh, especially if you're in America. It's still Rosh Chodesh by you. It's not Rosh Chodesh here anymore, but it's Rosh Chodesh by you still now. It is Chosesh Tevet is a very sad month. It's a sad month. A lot of very terrible things happen in Chosesh Tevet. Okay, it's a dark month. It's called Leilei Teves. Okay, it's a dark month, and yet it's still it is in the heart of Chanukah. It's like in the heart of Chanukah. How is it that you have so much darkness in the holiday that is all about light and miracles and lemala min hateva, above nature, and aiming above nature? That's the whole concept of lighting. And when we light the menorah, we're supposed to be thinking, when you're saying she'asa nisim la'avoseinu b'yamim hahem b'zman hazeh, think of miracles that you want to see in your life that you don't see in the stars for you, that you don't see that are possible for you at all. Think like along the lines of, someone that's handicapped all of a sudden gets up off the chair and walks. He should be thinking those things, even though they're so out of the, not in the equation whatsoever. Still, think those things during this time, because this time is made for miracles. And miracles, again, are not something that can even be grasped. Miracles are not meant to be grasped. Miracles are something that is Wow, like that, like wow, like that. It's not something that's like, oh wow, that's no nice. Oh, that's so nice, she got engaged, or oh, that's so nice, she had a baby. Because those are not miracles. Miracles are like, wow, like that. That's a miracle. Okay, so the whole concept of Chanukah and everything that we're supposed to be believing and knowing here is that we're supposed to be aiming and praying for things that are going to be like, wow, if we get them. Like, nah, what? What? That's a miracle. Like that. So think miracles. Think miracles. Yeah, pray for the things that you want and things that you need and the things that you pray on a daily basis for anyway. But then also think of something miraculous. Think of something miraculous that if it would come into your life, your jaw would be down on the floor, because that's what this holiday is about. So you have this holiday where it's all about the wow element here, right? The wow factor, and in the middle of it, plopped in the middle of it, is the one of the darkest months of the year, Tevet, where they translated the Torah into Yevanit, into Greek, where we have Ezra and Nehemiah pass away. Okay, they were the leaders of the Jewish people. They brought the Jewish people back up from Bavel. They were mimamen the Jewish people. They gave them money. Okay, they were mefarnes them. They were like the mama and papa of the Jews when they came back from Bavel. They brought them back from Bavel after the first Beis Hamikdash. So it was destroyed. So it was a very bad time. So the 8th day of Teves was when they translated the Torah into Greek, and that was one of the darkest things that the Jewish people have ever gone through and ever experienced. For many reasons, we're not going to get into it right now. Then the 9th of Teves is when Ezra and Nehemiah die. And the 10th of Teves is when they put, which is the national fast day for all of us, is when they sieged Jerusalem for 3 years and they didn't let anyone out or in. Well, no food, no water. People died in the streets. Jerusalem it says that it was just covered in blood. Everything was just blood. People were being killed. People were dying. There were corpses all over. It was a Holocaust. It was a Holocaust. So that's what happens during these 3 days. So question is why? Why do you have a dark month in a very, very light holiday? And the answer is, and I'm going to try to make it short, and I'm going to try to really give it the punch that it requires and needs. But take this with you, because today is Rosh Chodesh, and Rosh Chodesh is Michsugal, is made for Chadash. The energy is a Chadash energy. A new energy is coming into the world right now. A new energy is coming to the world. It's not like any other Teves ever before. It's a new Teves in a new era, in a new time, it's a whole new thing. But the energy that we're experiencing right now, first of all, the Mazel is Capricorn. It's an earth sign. Earth is, we learned this also when we did the Das Nafshecha. For those of you that learned it with me, Earth is a lot more grounded. People that are very grounded, people that are very structured, people that are very organized. But at the same time, they're also they're the other side of it, that they can become kind of very lethargic about life. They could stay in one place for a very, very long time and not move in any way, physically, emotionally, mentally. They'll stay in the same job forever. They'll just stay put. Okay, like the earth stays put. Okay, so the elements of this month have a lot to do with it. The way Hashem's name is structured on this month is Yud. It starts with Hey, Yud, Hey, Vav. It's mixed in the category, and every month has Hashem's name, Yud K, Vav K, structured in a way, and each one of the letters is mashpia on the month in their way. So this month has the Hey first, which is the feminine, has the Hey first, then has the Yud, which is the masculine, has the Hey again, and then has the Vav. Okay, so the energy of this month is very, very specific to this month. And when we go through this month, we pick up on that energy, and that energy affects us. And now when you know about the energy, and when you get educated about the energy, then what happens to you is that you know how to milk it, and you know how to ride it better. So the energy of this month, okay, and the reason why it starts specifically in Chanukah is very, very interesting. The darkest nights are during this month. Okay, meaning the longest nights are during this month. Leilei Teves, it's called Leilei Teves, the nights of Teves, and the days are the shortest of the whole year. Okay? There's something having to do with light and dark here. Clearly, if it's also within the holiday of Chanukah, there's something having to do with light and dark. And I'm just going to put it I was reading here in Sefer Todah. He explains, Rav Eliyahu Kitov, he talks about it. I'm not going to read it inside. It's a little complicated. But basically, I'll just, in a nutshell, we'll understand that the Torah makes it very, very clear to us. Very clear to us that there is no light in your life. Now, light, according to Zohar, is pleasure. According to Zohar, is goodness. Okay? There's the light and then there's the vessel, right? Light symbolizes good, feeling good, good experiences, having your prayers answered, shefa, that's light. Darkness is when you're in a place of tzimtzum, when it feels narrow, mitzrayim, okay, tsar, contained, confined, hurting, okay, that's darkness. When you're not understood, when you're not seen, okay, tight, okay. So there's light and then there's dark, and we have the dark energy right now in the lightest time of the year. It is the holiday of Mashiach. It is going to go to Mashiach with us. It is L'Mala Min HaTeva. It is all about miracles. And yet, it has this thing inside. So the message the Chazal want to tell us, and they want to give us is like this. The Torah tells us like this. There is no possibility for goodness in your life. There's no possibility for parnasa. There's no possibility for zivug. There's no possibility for children. There's no possibility for all the things that you want in your life if you don't know how to work with the dark. The dark is the darkness, the places in your life that are, you just look up to Hashem and say, why? Okay? The dark in our life is the fertile ground, and that is where the good, the light, the things that we want sprout from. Now, if we don't know how to do dark, if we don't know how to take the dark things in our life, if we don't know how to go through the hard experiences in our life, if we don't know how to go through the uncomfortable experiences in our life, then we can't become recipients of the light. We can't become recipients of the things that we're praying for. Okay, and it's really, really, really important as a person that's working on themselves, as a person that takes their life seriously, and not just looking to make excuses and blame people and blame your childhood and blame the abuse and blame all the things that you've gone through, and not looking to do that, but you're looking to honestly open the light in your life. Turn it on in your life. You're looking to honestly not look for anyone else in your life that's going to give you the good but God, and make it happen for you. And it's not coming. You've been praying and it's not coming. And the reason that it's not coming, okay, this is Chazal, this is not me. The reason that oftentimes it's not coming is because we don't know how to do the dark right. And the reason that Teves is in Chanukah is because the message of Teves is like this. The being uncomfortable is our ticket to getting our shefa. Being uncomfortable, which means doing things that are difficult for us, that are complicated for us, that are lo bali, I don't feel like it. Doing those things that are in essence good for us to do. It's good for you to pray. It's good for you to take a walk. It's good for you to eat healthy food. It's good for you to learn Torah and go to a class and commit to it, even if it's boring, even if it's difficult. It's funny, I keep looking at the number here on my screen. It's just funny because people want, and I decided that I'm not doing it anymore. I literally decided that I am not gonna be. It sounds funny, but I feel with all of my years of teaching and speaking that I, without paying attention to it, have like become the Energizer Bunny, and on one hand I love that. And on the other hand, sometimes concepts and ideas take a longer time to explain. And I have a lot of pressure in my mind to express it very, 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 very fast and very, very quickly, so people don't get bored. and people don't just go off, or people whatever. And I decided that even if I'm not speaking to anyone on the screen, I am going to not have that pressure in my mind and that stress of needing to quickly deliver it and give it over in the fastest, cutest, most understandable way, that way people won't leave, because people have no patience to last for so long. So certain things I do that with still, and other things when I really have to give them, I have to give them time, and you have to explain them thoroughly. I'm not just going to run through them, even if I have no one watching me at the end of it. I don't care. I don't care. so it doesn't matter. So you could all feel free to go off, because I'm really at a point where I want to explain clearly to the people that do care, that are working on themselves, that want to get the answers, that it's not going to come in a second. It's not going to be easy. And when we're blaming all the people in our life, and we're blaming the situations that we've come from, or the experiences that we grew up in, or whatever it is, when we're blaming already we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Blaming other people is, that thing that when you blame another person, when you hold out your finger, you're pointing at another person, you have three fingers pointing back at you. It's so true. It's so true, because blaming other people is just a way of deflecting. It's deflecting, like, I don't want the attention on me, and it's all subconscious. You have to know we're not bad people. We're good people. We want to do good in our lives, but our minds play tricks on us. Our minds play tricks on us, and we have to know how to be smarter than our heads, be smarter than our thinking. Okay? So you have to know these things, that when you blame, you got to know that blaming another person for the way you feel, okay, is the wrong thing to do, even if they triggered you. Because the way you feel is the way you were triggered, and the way you feel. Now you have to go take care of yourself. Now you have to go figure out what you're feeling, what the feelings are, what's coming to the surface, what's bothering you, what it is that they triggered, what skin they got under. That's what we have to do. But it's much easier to blame. It's much easier to do a lot of things. But easy never really pays off, right? So what we're talking about, what we were talking about before, is this idea that we can't ever receive the things that we want in our lives, the shefa that we want in our lives, the goodness that we want, the parnasa, the husband, the family, the children, all the things that we crave for in our life. Really, we can't receive them, and oftentimes we're gonna hit a wall with it. We're gonna hit a wall. It's not gonna happen for us if there is no real relationship with the dark times in our lives. And the dark times in our lives means the difficulties in our lives, and also the places in our lives that we're not willing to step out of ourselves, not one little bit. See, if I don't self-impose being uncomfortable in my life, if I don't self-impose that, if I don't put boundaries on myself with the things that I know are not healthy for me, and the people that I know are not healthy for me, if I don't create boundaries there with myself, God's going to create those boundaries for me. And that's what Yisurim are. Yisurim, when, you stub your toe, to losing money, to, God forbid, losing someone close to you, to having someone leave you, to not finding a job, to not finding a spouse, to all the Yisurim that a person experiences in their life. Chazal say, God only gives Yisurim to people that He loves. He's not going to mess with the people He's not going to do this to people that He doesn't love. But you have to know, there's something that comes before that. If you create your own Yisurim on yourself, if you create your own situations that make you feel uncomfortable, meaning you're not waiting for the heavens to send, God forbid, something down to you that's going to make you feel uncomfortable. Okay, that's going to make you feel sad. That's going to put you in pain. You're not waiting for God to do that to you. You're doing that to yourself. You're constantly, on a day-to-day basis, recognizing and realizing that making myself uncomfortable, putting boundaries in my life, setting boundaries in my life, for myself, not for other people, for myself, telling myself, you are going to go work out when I don't want to, because I know it's healthy for me. And when I tell myself, you are going to get up and you're going to daven, when I know it's healthy for me, and I know it's good for me, I know it's important for me to open my mouth, and open my siddur, and open my heart, and just say the words to Hashem. I know it's healthy for me to go into I want to be on autopilot, I want to do next, I have a lot of things to do, I have to get my latte, I have to drop my cleaning off, I have to go pick up my kids, I have to do this, I have to do that. I don't care what you have to do. You have to realize that you are avoiding the things that are healthy for you. Because it's much easier to just run from thing to thing to thing to thing than to stop and to do things that are hard for you to do. That require focus, that require time, that require energy, that require lack of movement, sitting and meditating, sitting and praying, going out for a walk, making better health choices, making better people choices, leaving a job that you're so used to in an effort to open up your own business or find something that's better for you or find something that's more challenging for you. All the things that are not comfortable. Those things are the soil in which the things that you're davening for, that you want, that you don't have in your life, that is where those things will sprout. That is where they will sprout from. It goes hand in hand. If the world would realize what a chiddush this is, I think everybody would jump up and down. When I realized this, which was like, just from learning and from realizing, from reading the way it was he explained in this essay, I feel like I was given a gift. I feel like I was giving such a gift. I realized that if I want something from Hashem, I want Him to open door number 1 for me, okay? You want Him to open up a husband for you, okay? A good relationship, a marriage. You want Him to give you, okay? You want Him to give you parnasa without struggling so much. You want Him to give you those things, okay? You want Him to open up that door. He wants to open up that door. But there's one prerequisite to that. And the one prerequisite there is to that is that effort on your end needs to be made in an area that is uncomfortable for you, that is not easy for you. And normally, in the areas that are uncomfortable for us, we go like this. We create blind spots. I don't see it, I don't hear it, I don't know about it. And we dodge it. And then Hashem will send us mirrors about different people, different things, to show us this thing again, to show us this thing again, to show us this thing, and we push it away, and we fight it, and we're angry at this person, and we're blaming, and we do everything just not to look at it. And so He brings us a mirror from here, and He brings us a mirror from here, and He brings us a mirror from here, and He brings us all these mirrors to show me, look at the thing you need to uproot, because you've been praying up a chinik over here since, 5 years already, for this specific thing, and still now I want to give it to you. I want to open up door number 1. I want to open up these doors for you. But I can't open up these doors for you if you don't do this work in this area of yourself. And this area of yourself is uncomfortable for you, but you don't feel like it. And you don't want to go there, and you don't want to open that thing. And you don't feel like, taking up on yourself another mitzvah on Shabbos. Or to be more careful with gossiping. Whatever, I don't want to do it. I don't care. Your skirts are too short. You have to do something about it. It's directly correlated. I know I sound like, some people are telling me I sound like a Beis Yaakov teacher. What am I supposed to do? It says it in the Torah. It's not easy for me either. At all. Not at all. Whatsoever. But it's the truth. So because it's not easy for me, then what? Then I make up excuses? No, I say this is really hard for me. I know that in order for me to access the shefa that I want, and the parnasa that I want, and the things that I need, the health, whatever it is that I need, I have to work on the areas, work in the places that I don't want to, that are too hard for me, that are coming out of comfort zone. But I have to come out of my comfort zone. And today when I was teaching in seminary, in where I teach, at the end of the class today, I said, okay, let's go around, and every single person give me one thing that you are going to do today that makes you feel uncomfortable. So one girl raised her hand and she said, I've been pushing off starting this book for 2 weeks. And it's a book that I have to read. I'm going to start today. Good. That's good. Stop dodging things that you don't want to look at. Stop pushing those things off. Stop pushing off paying your bills. Stop pushing off all the things that you're just overwhelmed by, and look at them. Okay? Move into the areas that are not cozy, that are not exciting for you, that are not easy for you. And that is where all the magic lies. That is where all the beauty is. Specifically there. And if you're relating to what I'm saying, I'm so happy for you, because I really feel that this is the key to all of the things that we're davening for. Because it says, Rabbi Eliyahu Dessler explains that it's not that Hashem ever wants to not give you what you're asking for. There's no tefillah that goes unanswered. There's no tefillah that goes. It's not like He doesn't want to give you everything. It's not like He doesn't want to give you a husband or a wife. It's not like He doesn't want to give you parnasa. It's not like He doesn't want to give you health. It's not. But in order for you to be able to be a vessel for those things, you need to work past things that are holding you back. You need to actually upgrade. You need to stop doing certain things, start doing other things, slowly, gradually, but start. I had a very interesting experience the other day. I don't know. Some of you are going to think that I'm weird, but I'm okay with that. I went to Kever Rachel with my friend, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were the only ones there. Maybe there was another woman there. And I walked straight up to the caver, and I was on it, and I was talking to Hashem and Chosav Mama Rachel, and I was asking for, specifically, I came to ask for a lot of Siyat D'Shmaya on a project that I'm working on right now that I'm going to tell you guys about soon. I'm starting to work on this. I created this project, I'm working on it, and I really, really, really wanted to bear fruit, and I wanted to be very, very mitzliach. And I went there, and I prayed and prayed, and I asked in detail for all the things and how I see it, and how I want to see it grow, and in what area, and how I wanted to affect the world. And as I am saying that, praying for that, I stopped and I said for the first time, I've never said this before when I've been in tefillah. I said, tell me what it is that I need to work on in order to get access to having this amount of siyat d'shmaya and hatzlacha. Tell me what it is that's standing in the way that I'm doing. Tell me what it is that I need to see that I'm not seeing. Please tell me. And I got the craziest answer. The answer that I got was all of a sudden a thought that came into my mind. And I never, ever, ever think about these things ever, 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 ever. And my pet peeve is duty length skirts. My pet peeve, I had some traumatic experience in high school, and I hate duty length skirts. It's either long down to the floor or short by my knee. I have a very hard time with in the middle of my knee and my ankle. It's right in the middle. I have a very hard time with that. And I literally have not thought about duty length skirts or anything for ages. For ages. I can't even tell you. For ages. I have my skirts that I wear every day. They're my short skirts that I wear up to my knees, down over my knee a drop, and those are my skirts. And the answer that I got in my head while I was by Kever Rachel was longer skirts. Tznius, longer skirts. I couldn't believe it. Because first of all, I never asked anything like this before in my life. I've never phrased it that way. I so badly want this project to really, really, really bear fruit and to really make a dent on this world and to not have my efforts go into something for not yet again, where I feel like they have gone for a lot of things and they really haven't panned out. And I begged, what is it that I need to do in order to have more hatzlacha in this area? And the thing that I got straight away, the answer that I got was longer skirts. And that's it. The second I walked out of Kever Rachel that night, this 3 nights ago, the second I walked out of Kever Rachel, I'm done. I have one duty length skirt. I've been wearing it ever since. That's it. Because I'm gonna do the things, whatever it is that Shammai makes me realize, and Shammai puts into my mind, and Shammai makes me see, whatever it is, I'm gonna go to. What did you ask me, Chana? You go shopping? No, I didn't go shopping. I just have one skirt that is the right length. That is the length that all the good Jewish women in Israel wear. And now I've been just wearing it, and I'm good with it. I'm fine with it, because I accept the fact that I have to do certain things, and I have to take on myself certain things, and I have to come out of certain comfort zones in order to access things that I want. Period. We can't stay the same and then ask for all these big things. It doesn't work that way. We have to also evolve, and we also have to change ourselves in order to be able to become vessels for the things that we want. It's almost like you have a key and a lock, right? The key is not going to fit every lock. You need to have the right key for the right lock. So if you want a husband, or if you want parnasa, or if you want to be matzliach in certain things, or if you want whatever it is that you want, you have to have the right vessel in order to fit into that key. God can want to give you this key all you want, but your vessel doesn't fit the key. So you have to come out of the things that you're doing that are holding you back, the people, the relationships, the attitude, the knee-jerk reactions in life. You have to come out of that in order to be able to elevate yourself, in order to be able to fit with that key and that lock, in order to be able to attract that thing that you are asking for so long. That's how it goes. So either we get Yisurim from Shemaim, or we do self-imposed Yisurim. Either you create boundaries for yourself, and you force yourself to stop doing certain things, and to stop having self-sabotaging behavior, and to start doing things that are healthy for you, and that are good for you, and that are important for you, and that are meaningful, really, that maybe you don't have the patience for, maybe you don't want to do it, maybe you don't have the time for, but you're going to force yourself to do those things. And when you do those things, you actually become a breeding ground for all of the shefa that you want to receive in your life. So either we do it through there, self-imposed, or it's God-imposed. And God-imposed is Yisurim, is pain. Pain always comes as a cleanser. Pain always comes as something that is here to come in. This is you, this is the pain. It comes in, and it messes with you, and it shakes you up, and it changes you. It changes you. The pain changes you. Either it makes you stronger, and it makes you evolve, and you collect the pieces, and you keep going, and you become a stronger person, or you fully break down, and you don't have anything to deal with, and you don't have what to give life. But you either have self-imposed Yisurim, or you have God-given Yisurim. I rather the self-imposed ones. I've had enough God-given Yisurim because I wasn't moving, because I wasn't coming out of comfort zones, because it was much easier for me to tell the world to come out of their comfort zone than to come out of my comfort zone. And I realized the day that I began to say no to myself in the areas that were very, very hard for me, and to say yes to myself in the areas that are very, very hard for me, was the day that I felt the shackles in certain areas come off of me. Shackles just disappear for me. There are still shackles. I still have shackles. We all have shackles. But the way to break out of prison, the way to break out of the stuff that is self-sabotaging, and the stuff that doesn't allow God to give you all the things that you're praying for, it doesn't help to just pray. It doesn't. Prayer is necessary. You have to pray. But you have to pray in addition to also making sure that you have one uncomfortable thing that you do a day. 2 uncomfortable things that make you uncomfortable. Things that you would rather not do. Things that you would be happy to pay someone else to do. Things that you would avoid like the plague. Like that. And those things, do them. Do one thing a day. Do one thing. So when I was telling the students in my class today, what are some things that you would do? So some of them said, one of them said, I've been putting off exercising for a very long time. I'm going to start with a 15-minute exercise. Good for you. It's not fun. I don't want to get on the floor right now and do crunches. But do you want to get married? But do you want to have parnasa? So you have to evolve your vessel. So get on the stupid floor right now and do some crunches. Just do it. I don't want to. I don't care what you want. I do care what you want. That's why I'm forcing you to do this. Because I care about what you want, and because I care about your future, and because I care about what I want coming for you, I am forcing you to step out of your comfort zone and do something that you don't feel like doing right now. Kacha. That's how it goes. And And the reason that we have Teves in the middle of Hanukkah is because that's the message of Teves. The message of Teves is if you don't know how to deal with the darkness, if you don't know how to deal with the difficult things that happen to you in your life, then you can never and you will never really be able to grasp the light. You will never be able to experience your own light, because when you put challenges on yourself and when you force yourself to do things that are hard for you to do, but you do them because they're good for you, when you force yourself to do that, you will unleash a certain light inside of yourself, something that you didn't know you had, a strength, a quality, a peace, an inner peace, a knowing, a love of life, something you unleash that you didn't feel before. We can't stay, we can't stay small-minded and just do the same thing all the time and live our life in the same pattern all the time and keep avoiding the things that are healthy for us and that are good for us and that are smart for us, that we hate doing, or that we have no patience doing, or that we just don't want to. We can't avoid those things and want new things to come into our life. You have to do new things in order to attract new things. That's how it works. So, that's the story. That's part of the reason why we have the darkest month in the year smashed right in the middle of the lightest holiday of ever. Because when you know how to work with dark, then you get light. And when you know that you can create your own dark, which is your own simtzum, which is your own boundaries, which is your own mitzrayim, when you know that how to create your own darkness, meaning your own saying no to yourself, or pushing yourself out the door, and making yourself, you have to do this, go do it. Sit down right now and write this. Sit down right now and work on this. Sit down right now and cook this, or clean this, or, meditate this or pray this or whatever it is. Sit down right now. But I don't want to. I want to watch a show. I'm tired. I don't want to. I have to go do this. I have to go do that. I don't care when you do it, but you have to do something every single day. And if you do something every single day that puts you in a space that you don't feel like doing it and you do it anyway, you'll see it's a matter of days before you're going to start attracting a lot of those things that you've been praying for years. And that's the equation. It really is a simple equation. It's deep, but it's simple. It's simple. We have to evolve our vessel in order to be able to match up with the thing that we're asking for. And evolving our vessel is never easy. Is it ever easy to go to the gym? Is it ever easy to work out? Is it ever easy to lift weights? Is it ever easy to work our bodies? No, but we know that no pain, no gain. And we get that. We understand that when it comes to our bodies. When I understand that I can't have that cheesecake right now, and that I can't eat that because I want to lose weight. I get that. I get that that's the equation. But somehow, when it comes to our neshamos, and when it comes to the things that we mostly crave in our life, like getting married, like owning a home, like having parnasa, like having more children, like, being healthy, like all the things that are very, very important and crucial for our growth, that we're like, but I prayed for it, and he didn't listen, so forget it. I don't care. I'm just going to, whatever. No. Prayer together with making yourself do the things that are good for you that you don't want to do. And doing them anyway. And saying, I'm going to do them. It's not fun. I don't want to. I don't feel like it. But you know what? This is my ticket. And that is the message of Teves. And that is the message of Teves in smack in the middle of Chanukah. You can't have the light without the dark. You can't have the shefa without the tzimtzum. You can't have all the bounty that you're asking for without working and struggling and forcing yourself and putting boundaries on yourself and putting down guidelines for yourself and setting yourself a bedtime and setting yourself an amount that you're going to eat, that you're going to... you can't have one without the other. So that's our class for tonight. If anybody has any questions. Any questions? No? We're good? Okay, guys. A freilich Chanukah and a good Chodesh. And thanks for listening. And thanks for being here. And we'll talk soon.